Hi guys, I am still adjusting to my progressive lenses, which they're supposed to be better for looking at screens, and that's not true. It's not true, not yet. Not fully adjusted. So that is my excuse for missing the question in the forum, and I apologize for that. So, question being, Coach MK, what should I be doing to prepare for my first full marathon, which will be Twin Cities, coming up in October? What are the things I should be doing right now? Yay. The most important thing you can be doing right now is getting back into a pattern of consistent running. I've said from the beginning, we need one, preferably 2 months in rebuild before moving on to maintain. And then once you've been in maintain for 3 months, running pretty consistently, you can YOLO a half anytime, and you only need 10 weeks to ramp up to a marathon. And I stand by that. I mean that. So apologies for missing this question earlier, but I'm glad you asked. So as of right now, I was so horrified that I had missed you. I didn't go back and add it up, but I think we are only not even 10 weeks into the year, 12, 11 weeks into the year. So that'll be around week 35. We've got a little over 20 weeks to go. And the math, it kind of adds up there, same as it would have before if you were buying like a 16 or a 20-week plan. We're still a little bit out, but if you think of that as a ticking clock, once the clock starts running, you're behind. So we want to make sure that we don't feel behind on day one, because that's a lot of work, right? And the way I present it isn't terribly different, but it's a little bit easier to wrap your brain around, because once you're into, okay, we've got, 19 weeks to go, 18 weeks to go, 17 weeks to go, each week becomes so precious that preciousness feels like pressure. So if you miss a run here, have seasonal allergies, really bad wind, can't get out of bed for one reason or another, you feel behind, and then you lose your confidence, and then we got to dig you out of the hole the closer we get to race day. So what I recommend you do right now is start finding the days and the ways that running will fit into your current calendar. Optimal is 5 days a week of running. We can do a marathon on 4. 5 is really what your body needs in order to make all the crucial adaptations to your tendons, joints, and ligaments to have a successful race day. You can do it on less, but I don't recommend trying. So right now, we need to start easing back into 3 days a week, 4 days a week, working our way up to 5 days a week. Yes, you can start out at 5 days a week, but we don't really want to burn out. If you know you're committed to a marathon and you haven't really been doing 5 days a week yet, let's go ahead and just make 3 days happen no matter what. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, or 4 days happen. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday would be optimal there, because we want to get used to that long run sandwich. There's a lot of power in that long run sandwich, more than you might recognize. But it's when you get used to doing a long run on legs that are already pretty tired, that makes a whole world open up, and it makes the marathon a lot easier. So before we get down there, what's going to make those weeks easier is to make sure that we've established running as a consistent pattern now. Because if we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, it's not a big deal to add in Tuesday. Or we're doing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, then adding in Saturday or Sunday is not a big deal either. So let's go ahead and find the pattern that works, minimum 4 days now, and try to stick to that for a month at least before we add in that 5th day. If you feel really good, go ahead and jump in sooner. And if you want to talk about what that pattern looks like, go ahead and hop into office hours. So that's another thing it's never too soon to do, is to hop into office hours and talk to me and share these things. I love talking to people. I do love it. I will help you handcraft your plan. We have template plans. I can gladly give you one of those. But we can customize whatever we do. That's kind of what you're paying for. And for some of you who've been here for a really long time, I'm grateful for you. I will give you whatever you need at this point, because you've kept fitness protection alive and kept our doors open through one of the worst business tragedies of our time. I mean, the pandemic killed the running industry, and it killed a lot of running businesses. So the fact that we're still here is a really big deal to me. And, I will do whatever I have to do to make sure that you feel good on race day. So for now, let's start with the most basic thing of making running a habit again. Realistically, 4 days a week. Let's go ahead and start there. And then the goal for next month would be to add that 5th day, and or adding some strength training. because now is the time. I don't want you doing both at the same time. I don't want you to hit the ground running with hardcore strength training, because no one does a little strength training. All y'all go too hard. And that's fine and fair. If you're like, I've got all this room in my calendar, so I'm going to put all this stuff in it, I'd really rather you didn't. Let's start small and add little bits. So the little bit we add is not a big deal, rather than start with big things and then adding anything in feels impossible. Okay, there's no room for expansion. So to that end, this month we do 4 days a week. Next month we do 5 days a week and maybe some loops, maybe some Bosu Booty #1. That video is up on the YouTube channel. Maybe you just want to go see that loops video that's gotten a ridiculous number of views, and I don't understand why. I did loops. I think it was loops #3. For a private client of mine named Doug. I put those. I accidentally set it to public on the on the YouTube channel, and somehow it got picked up by the algorithm, and now a lot of people have seen it. So if you want to do what Doug is doing, feel free to grab a loop and go next month. Give me minimum 3 weeks of three. I mean, I'm saying a month, but I know y'all. Minimum 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Please give me at least 2 weeks of easing in with 4 days a week before you try to add anything else. And then the next thing we add is that 5th day plus loops. And then we expand little by little from there until we're in the thick of the 10-week plan, which will be here sooner than you think. So, because by the time school lets out, by the time we get through spring break, then Easter break, then finals, that's when your marathon prep will really be taking off. And it's less than 12 weeks away. And then you got 10 weeks, give or take a few to go. So it's going to sneak up on you faster than you realize, because this part of the year, it goes by really quick. So sorry I missed your question. Apologize for the 2 broadcasts tonight, but I didn't want that one to be left out, because that's what it means to be coached and loved and winning at life. If you want to talk more, office hours, come find me. If you can't find the Calendly link, I will try to, actually, let me find it right here. Oh. There it is. Here we go. Office hours, come find me. There you go. There's the link. Posted. Click that link. Let's talk it out. Have a good week. And yay for good decisions. I tell you what, I love Twin Cities. That's a great marathon. In general, it's a great first marathon, period. And Minneapolis is a terrific city. It is really, really just an underrated gem in the Midwest. You know, in every city in Wisconsin, Racine is another one. As funny as that sounds, I've never had a bad time in Racine, and they have a marathon. So there you go.